What's up, Hippo lovers? This year's Prime Cup, a $20,000 tournament, just happened last weekend, and I saw a game that really impressed me. It was Vortix against TaToH in, I believe, the round of 16, and Vortix, who in the end ended up being second in the whole tournament, played a quite nice strategy, at least so I thought. We have the typical 6 villager, then a prelate opening, 5 on sheep, 2 on gold here. And yeah, everything looks pretty standard. The map is hill and dale, as you know. The defensive one, we have lots of clips, so easy to wall. And we have a Holy Roman Empire mirror. So TaToH picked the same. And what's so wild in this one is how clean Vortix build-up is. He will do a crazy Imperial Age, and it also felt like it is really, really safe. 4 on gold now, obviously building the prelate means that we will be a bit low on gold, so to compensate for that, prelate is now coming over to get to that juicy feudal age, and yeah, tries to get that one quite nice and early, and then has to think about, okay, where do we build the Aachen chapel? As you know, prelate increasing the gather rate over here, and if you put the prelate into the Aachen chapel, it will increase the gather rate in a radius. Why is Holy Roman Empire so good? We will try to figure that out together. There are obviously lots of factors playing into it, and I think Vortix is using so many bonuses so nicely. First of all, better economy here in Dark Age, as you can see, food and gold already flying in. Now going for the lumber camp as well. And still, something we have to mention, I think this strategy could be vulnerable to early feudal age attacks or other stuff. Oh, and now we see why that lumber camp actually was bad. I was a bit confused as well. That's why I said the Aachen Chapel and moved my cursor over here if you saw that one. Actually, the Aachen Chapel works in a radius, and as you can see, wants to have the food, the gold, and the wood all in that circle. So it makes a lot of sense that he moved the the lumber camp here. As you all know, canceling before 100% basically means you still get 100% back, different to other games like Age of Empires 2. Aachen Chapel being built by 3 villagers, and I will from time to time fast forward a bit just to figure out the strategy a bit better. I don't think we need to actually see it in real time. I won't focus too much on TaToH here, but there will be some reactions to what he is doing. Now we see the prelate also going over to food, knowing that, okay, eventually we want to get some more villagers out. And you see, okay, keeping villagers on gold and not going for a second prelate, because obviously Aachen Chapel already making everything better. What's going on here? And you actually will see that simply trying to get as much food as possible over here will be a good way if you actually play professional scouts and get all the deer into that radius, moving your villagers or letting them work here. Now we're rushing out the stable after we had 5 on wood, 6 on wood, 6 on wood for a bit, and now floating enough gold to go for professional scouts. That's why we had the mill here, and now most of the resources on food and gold, going for some professional scouts, as you can see, on for now, scouts, professional scouts, soon to be, and now more on gold. And that just means, okay, we can send the scouts over. No early scout. Sometimes we see players going for villager, but obviously with Holy Roman Empire, you kind of want to have that prelate as early as possible. And now moving out a bit, trying to maybe contest the deer on the other side, while probably some scouting happened. Let me see, what did we see? Okay, we did not scout professional scouts here. And TaToH is actually also not going for it. Now goes for a second prelate because he couldn't build his Aachen Chapel to the woodline, food and gold. So TaToH plays more with fast castle, but as I said, not the major story that we want to see here. Now goes for the faraway deer because he still has enough sheep, and also 1 deer early on. That's also something I learned. Trying to get like 1 deer, then they won't idle, and only then go for the greedy approach, unless you still have like 3+ sheep, which meant you had like 10 or something at some point. Now massively on gold. Villagers not with the greatest micro here. I think sending them in here would be something. Also, we are not getting any eco upgrades except professional scouts if you want to consider that as an eco upgrade before going to Castle Age. And he went for what seems to be seven scouts even. Oh, and TaToH goes for professional scouts as well, but simply a bit later. Walls behind this one, and well, so some of that will be contested, but TaToH a bit later on. Now even goes for survival techniques. Tries to increase his rate there, but still, 3 of those deer went over to Vortix side. Now goes and gets the last 2, and obviously still can access everything here. And you won't believe it, even after those late professional scouts, now we are rushing to Castle Age, going for the Regnus Cathedral. Obviously a great thing if you drop off some relics, 200% more gold, so basically that is 900 gold per minute if you have 3 relics inside. Rushes that one with 8 villagers, and now goes for more prelates. So on the way to castle, we try to prepare them. Obviously with all the scouts, we get some vision and get some good idea of where the relics are, where the opponent might go. More deer coming back home, and prelates should now just go into that direction and already prepare themselves. Obviously can't pick up those relics before hitting Castle Age, but that's indeed the plan. Hit Castle Age, pick them up, and once you drop 3 in there, it looks pretty good for you. Still keeps 9 villagers on gold. Obviously scout production started now. Actually went for... oh, prelates are counted in there, right? Let me see. Yeah, we have 7 scouts and 3 prelates. 2 on the field, 1 in here, and that's a lot of food dropped. And even goes for the far away relics. So wasn't that like super safe, trying to go for the close ones, but maybe in a Holy Roman Empire mirror you try to contest the further ones. A bit earlier, TaToH with the later Castle Age timing here. Didn't even see how his build-up was. And yeah, he clicks significantly later. Went for professional scouts as well. But obviously that's why we are watching Vortix build order. And yeah, we're simply so impressed. Okay, might lose 1 prelate here. Scout around. And the wolf attacking that one. While we still have 1 getting home. TaToH maybe gets some vision over at that end. And actually lets that one slide. So prelate will make it at least a bit further onto the map. And now the big question is, okay, we need to adjust, we need to see a bit what our opponent is doing, and Vortix realizes, okay, opponent is actually contesting the relics a bit, is a bit out on the field, and we can see now some knights being added to contest those relics, simply knowing, okay, if I can deny you from getting the 3 relics, I get 3 relics, massive 600 income difference? Not really. Ah, well, yeah, it is, right? 300 more for me, otherwise it would be 300 more for you. Nearly math checks out. And whoops, some misclick arenas just happened here. Obviously shift clicking with any monk type unit, still not the prettiest thing, and yeah, has to go back here. But the knight is obviously scaring away those scouts quite nicely, and you can already see resources are floating quite nicely here for Mr. Vortix. Not a lot of villages on wood, right? What do you need? Second stable is being added just to contest the relics a bit more. But you can even cut some corners, and I've seen a different build-up from him in a different game where he even went for only like 2 knights or something to get some control. And then we had a pretty crazy imp timing there as well. And as you can see, TaToH only now reached Castle Age. Now relic number 2 dropped off, relic number 3 will be controlled, and TaToH relatively lucky, even that he has 1 relic in his own base, but 3 now guaranteed for Vortix, while he obviously still has the running economy behind this, still heavily goes on to deer, has some knights on the map, and now we go onto the thing that makes this strategy so crazy. First of all, we are clicking in 11 minutes, and we have a landmark that is simply cheaper than other landmarks. Palace of Swabia, 20% cheaper there, and it produces basically 1 villager, or let's say 4 villagers to a cost of 1, 4 villagers at the time of 1. So I think it's 12.5 food. It displays 13 food, but Age of Empires 4 works in fractions as well. And produces in 5 seconds. And that means that even normally, if you go fast imp, your economy isn't that great. But this building alone is completely, neglecting that. Floating endless amount of gold, moving some villagers away from gold onto the wood. I think that's something that could have been optimized and being sent a bit earlier. But Imperial Age here, it's 12 minutes and 4 seconds while getting 4 relics here. And now the production, it's not even fair. And guys, as you can see, it's 1x speed. So we're not getting too much faster here. And production is just crazy. Still, no need to farm that early on. Berries not even touched. It's got so many deer with this clean build-up. Relic number 4 is now coming in. And we have the knights getting some aggression. TaToH with some spearmen to address those knights. And it's not even taking those 2 deer. So could have gone for that. Scouts were a bit idle. Now houses being dropped down. And I'm just really impressed how this one was played out. So many clean moves, and it just felt like the whole strategy aligned so nicely. Yeah, I really, really like that. And now the economy behind this is really solid as well. I'm not even sure. TaToH, he is getting imp as well, but only 1 relic. Professional scouts were later. Now we are doing some indirect pressure to our opponent by taking the sacred sites as well. And, well, knight production continued. Elite knight upgrade could even be afforded, simply because getting so much gold due to the Regnitz Cathedral here. That 300 gold is bugged. We right now get 1000 gold due to relics. And TaToH even sees this attack, sees Elite Knight, and realizes, okay, this game is not mine to be won, and resigns in some seconds. Holy moly, what a clean build order. And thinking of ways to punish it. Yeah, open map. Maybe we can do something. Like fuel rage aggression, obviously vulnerable to tower rush. We are only going for professional scouts. But I think especially with the map that is such a long distance, Holy Roman Empire seems to be #1 here. TaToH resigns. That's it from me. I hope you learned something. I was impressed. Goodbye, pervs.